Alright, what's up y'all? Tim Ream here. This is day 19 of 75 hard. I haven't filmed probably in like 3 days maybe. I have been doing AM and PM sessions with the cardio session before that early AM session. But the last 3 days, I had to work a lot, dude, so I've only been able to do 2 main 45-minute workouts. And I've been doing the gym portion of it at Planet Fitness where I've not wanted to film. But anyway, so today we're going to do back, get some of this on film. I may throw calves in there, supersetted with the forearms. Typically I will do a weaker body part at the beginning of the routine just because it won't be as exhausted as like I would. It won't be exhausted like it would if I stuck it at the end of the routine after I've already done a big back workout or whatever. The only reason I'm doing that at the end this time, if I do it, is because I'm going to be doing forearms too. I don't want to burn them out for back day. That being said, I'm going to get right into the workout here. I'm going to start with pullovers, I guess is what you'd call them, and, go from there. So, yeah, let's get going.
Of high earner potential. Okay, that's why there are so few of them. And then below that, the level of pretty good, there's more of those. And then there's average, where by definition, there's the most of those. That's why it's called average. Most people end up in average because A, like we talked about at the beginning, they don't pick the thing. B, they spread their efforts across multiple things. C, when bad things happen, they paralyze themselves and they don't make that progress. And all the while, the people who do all of those things continue to move forward, which creates a huge gap in the results that are produced. And dude, the reality is the world rewards results. What is up, guys? It's Andy Priscilla, and this is the show for the realists saying goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society. Welcome to reality, guys. Today we have Q and AF. That's you some questions.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of work to catch up on too. Not just that, like before I started the 75 hard program, I was already doing 2-a-days, and the split that I'm on is pretty intensive. I haven't given my body a break for a while, so kind of these last 3 days too, I've just been letting my body recoup. Some of the gym stuff that I did do wasn't near as intense, and I didn't hit as many muscle groups. Back I haven't worked out in like a week. Chest I haven't worked out in about a week. I just did like some shoulders and arms. I did some legs. But I'm trying to cycle those body parts and give them a little bit more rest in between, and then I'm going to get back into that split. So,
now 75 hard versus is where we bring people in, maybe you, come on the show and talk about how your life was before 75 hard, how it is now. Usually it's pretty sucky, and then it gets a lot less sucky. And if you're unfamiliar with the 75 hard program, it is the initial phase of the Live Hard program, which you can get for free at episode 208 on the audio feed only. There is a book, the book on mental toughness, available on our website at andypriscilla.com. And if you're unfamiliar with the 75 hard program, it is the world's largest mental transformation program ever, and it's free. So you don't need the book. The book is very helpful. People enjoy it. We sell it. Usually
kind of been playing around with that exercise right there. Instead of like pulling, because you've got 3 weak leaks in there, working your lats, but you got your biceps involved, you got your forearms and your grip strength. Whereas in like a Nautilus machine, it would be right up against your elbows. And you don't have anything in between, just the isolation of that lat. So I've been trying to get as focused as I can with this exercise, and it's literally just try to do that motion with my arm, like keep that grip and everything just locked, and just drive down with your elbows like you would as if you was in that machine. So I feel like you do get a pretty good range of motion like that, but I feel like it is more isolated that way.
What's going on with you, man? Yeah, just training, fake entrepreneur. Hey, are we gonna play that?
Do one more warm-up set, and then I'll go into that set to failure here.
DJ called me a fake entrepreneur.
2 hour and 49 minutes.
All right, let's do this. What? Bro, I got a real job, man. This is a fucking side gig.
Hey, listen. What?
Well, I'm just saying.
Play an entrepreneur, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's normally $15,000. And today, just for you, it's $997. I've only got 5 spots. All right, ready?
He's out here playing entrepreneur and shit.
Oh yeah, I was late.
Yeah.
All right, so these guys were supposed to record an hour and 49 minutes ago, and I was out there having to do stuff for my real job.
Forgot he has a podcast. I forgot he's a YouTuber.
Dude, I forgot. I forgot that this is my main job.
Oh, come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You're a program.
So the guys are giving me a little heat. It is what it is.
Yeah. That's all good, man. It happens. It happens, man. What's going on in the trade?
That's fine.
Good.
You know what it is?
What is it?
It's my CPT. What CPT is? It's color people.
Jesus.
I am part black, 12%. So there's obviously a part of me that has that. Is that a real thing or not?
No, it's a real thing.
What's it called?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, why can't I say that if I'm 12%?
No, you can say it. You said it.
I know I said it.
How did it feel?
I'm not too comfortable with it yet.
Yeah, fuck.
I mean, is that against the rules?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
So it's not against the rules?
No, that's too fair, dude.
I mean, you are the approval.
Let me call my board real quick.
Call the official board.
What's up, nigga? Hey, quick question.
Oh, man.
Wait, 12%, right? Okay, 10 is the cut. Yeah, 10%.
All right. I got official approval. All right, man. That's what's up.
Oh, man.
Nothing, man.
Yeah. Dude, how about these storms?
Well, they're pretty serious now.
Dude, they're like, I'm sick of it. I got an 18-foot circumference hole in my backyard. And
Why do you have that?
the pool.
Yeah.
The pool is
You still didn't throw it a certain way?
It's been raining. Nobody can fucking come out. It's like a pigsty back there.
Dude, we have gotten a lot of like
It's been a shit.
hard storms.
Yeah, they got heart on full blast.
Yeah. Yeah, no
Did
shit.
we say that? Did we say heart?
Yeah.
Heart's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We mean like musical heart.
Yeah, musical. They got a musical heart. That makes it rain. Yeah, fuck that. It's been bad though, man.
Dude, it has been a very stormy spring.
But it's weird too, because like last year or was it the year before, where it was like this time we were having ice storms and shit.
Oh yeah, we did.
So it's like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like,
that's the Midwest,
it's the Midwest.
you know?
Yeah.
It's this time of year and then also in fall, man. You gotta like leave the house with different sorts of clothes because you never know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's real shit.
But what's going on with you, man? You training?
Training, getting
My
to
man's getting back in it.
Getting back into it, making some quick changes already, man. Yeah.
You get you've been hitting. This is the 2nd week in a row. You haven't missed. You
Yeah,
missed
yeah.
on Sunday.
Yeah, I did miss Sunday.
Yeah. After you told me you were gonna be here, I was here.
CPT, bro, shit happens.
Yours must be a lot more severe than mine because you never fucking showed up.
All right.
I'm up here trying. I'm like,
Pre-exhausted the lats with the pullovers there. I'm going to go right into close grip pull down. Do a couple warm-up sets, which I'm already pretty warm. But it's a new exercise, so we'll just do like 1 or 2 warm-up sets and then get into that heavy set.
Probably like a day. The motherfuckers say after, anything after this.
I waited till like 2 and then I'm like, all right, I got ready. So just know I waited. I had to take 2 servings of pre-workout because I got hyped and then it went down. I had to take another one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Picture Andy. Imagine you were like me waiting for my dad to pick me up at soccer practice.
I was
shit.
sad.
It's just
Like, DJ forgot about me.
oh man.
So what we got today,
Hey,
man?
man, we're gonna make some people better. We're gonna make some people better. That's the plan. That's
I say this, I know the people are rooting for you to get your shit together in training.
yeah, no, a lot of love.
Dude, I'm getting DMs about it. People are pumped.
Yeah, a lot of love. And
They want to see the ribs and dick. But they don't know that's on your
I can show them
OnlyFans.
one of them.
It's on your OnlyFans.
Can't show both. Show you one.
Ribs. All right, let's do something.
Guys, Andy, question number 1. Let's dive into these. Question number 1, Andy. What's going on, Andy? I'm currently 20.
What's up? Yeah, hey.
24 years old, and I work at a food shop. I also do side work.
I'm actually going to eliminate. I am only going to do one warm-up set on this and then go right into the max set. I'm just going to add in one extra exercise. It's going to be close grip, palms up, pull downs. Then we'll go into the single, start going into the isolation movements to keep that symmetry and make sure the strength gain is even across both right and the left side.
I have a lot going on, and I constantly have new ideas that I want to pursue just because I'm a curious person, and I would like to be the jack of all trades. How would you handle the fact that you want to try so many new things and become more valuable and can't tie down to one thing? Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time thinking about so many different ideas. I love all that you guys do. I will keep supporting and watching the show.
All right. So I really appreciate the hustle. I appreciate the willingness to do all these things. I think that's a great thing, to have that ambition, to have that drive, and be willing to be curious and learn. And if you're going to do those things in your 20s, it's the right time. So I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a bad thing, but I want you to keep something in mind. The reason most people don't succeed is because they can't pick something, all right? And because they can't pick something, they are unable to invest the time and the energy and the effort to become a master of it, right? A jack of all trades, but a master of none. That's the saying, and that's true. And so you have to consider that. You will be competing against people who have chosen one of those things as their main thing. And it's a very arrogant thought and a misguided thought to believe that you can beat someone, even if they're not as skilled as you, there's only a percentage of your work and energy. So I think it's okay that you're kind of exploring, and I think it's okay.
Dropping that one, just that one warm-up set there helped me get a couple more reps on my max. So the faster you can get warmed up and get into those heavy sets to failure, you're decreasing that volume and essentially decreasing that recovery time based on the resources your body can produce in between this workout and the next one. So the faster you can get into that max set, it's going to be better. You're going to be pushing more weight, and you're going to put less stress on your entire system as a whole. Also, I got a few more reps on that than I did last week. Held just a couple reps up from last week, even if it's a rep. You can tell you're getting stronger. I mean, I don't know how many units of energy, or probably 10 pounds per rep or something. I think it's like 6 to 10 pounds per rep extra. But if you're logging your progress, just that one rep can let you know whether you're still working your way up, right?
It made sense for me
get this recorded here.
I really enjoyed. For example, one of the things that I
and also, looking back on all this footage, I'm able to really see myself and my form if I'm going slow on that negative. Because in my mind, on some of these workouts, I thought I was doing pretty good on the negative. Whenever I go back and look at this stuff on film, I'm like, damn, I'm going pretty fast on that negative. I need to slow that down. So this is giving me a chance to improve my entire technique, where I haven't been able to see myself in that light before.
Become a master of what I do. So my advice to you would be to try to figure out what it is.
All right, we'll go the same weight. Go right into the max set with the palms, close grip, palms up, pull downs.
Okay, because you don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, because what that equates to is you not being competitive in the field that you're in, and that equates to you not having very much money in your bank account. All right, so and if you're older, if you're 30 or if you're in your 40s, it's very important that you get that solved quickly, because you have less time than the 24-year-old or the 19-year-old to sort of discover, right? So choosing what we want to do is a hard decision. But if we make an educated guess about where we want to be and what we want to do and what we want our life to look like, and we consider the fact of what we enjoy and what has the potential to actually become a very profitable and lucrative career, Now we're in a situation where we have to guess at what we want to do. And so you start down this path, and you're able to be competitive because you're putting all your energy in that. And, you know, you're able to maybe beat some of the other people because you're better, you put in more experience, you're putting in more work, or you're learning more, you've got a better coach or a better mentor that's actually done what it is that you want to do, not one of these fucking dumb fucks out here with eyes and everything. Those people can collapse your time frame on becoming an expert. The point is, you want to make the choice as quickly as possible. You want to go all in as quickly as possible because it's going to put back all the way to effort and be competitive in the marketplace. So that's my advice.
You guys might not think so, but that one set to failure is enough. I'm telling you, if you get pumped and get that burn from the very first one, that very first exercise, 3 warm-up sets and one set to failure, then you move pretty fast into your max, making sure that that burn doesn't go away. Just go right back into the next exercise and then start hitting failure on each exercise after that. I'm telling you, dude, that burn still stays there, the pump still stays there, and you'd be surprised that just with the minimal amount of sets, you know, six sets to failure, how much work you're actually doing and how much stress you're putting on the entire system in order to say, hey, you need to cope to this stress. And then, you know, kicking in that growth factor and kicking in your body's, the growth mechanism, I guess I should say. We'll keep this going. I'm going to move pretty fast into the singles. Then we'll go over here to rows.
Sell courses on shit they never did. They're not effective entrepreneurs. Their whole income stream is to sell other people shit that, you know, they didn't actually do, right? So a lot of these sayings go around the internet that are highly misleading. And one of them is, the average entrepreneur has 7 screws, or the average...
Yeah, I started this whole, at 75 hard, I started this program at about 100 and... almost 188 pounds. I'm down to 172 and a half now, just within about 3 weeks. So I'm dropping about 2 pounds a week, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, something like that. So by the end of the program, I should be, I don't really want, I guess half of me don't want to admit that I could get down to 165 and still not be lean as fuck. But right now I'm about 172, 173 pounds, and I've still got a lot of room to go. So my goal is to basically get down to the point where I can see visible veins and have a 6-pack. And then whenever I enter my bulking phases, I'm going to bulk up. And my cutoff where I stop bulking is whenever my abs are visual or have visible abs. Like I'm going to stay in that, you know, 18, or no, about 18, probably like 10 to 16% body fat range. But having and maintaining visual abs the entire, you know, bulking and cutting process. So I feel like you'll be able to tell what your body responds to if you're leaner, because you can tell the water weight, you can tell which types of foods add what, when, and I feel like the leaner you are is better for honing in on your diet and your skills and just everything. So that's how I'm trying to get down to that place, even if it's just a one-time sacrifice of a little bit of muscle, just so I can get a baseline and like ground zero on my readings for my journal and just all that stuff. So, all right.
We're putting all our energy into one thing, and you're not. So it's impossible to compete like that. Does that make sense? So like when I look at businesses, and I was talking to Mosey about this just the other day, and I was like, man, I want to fucking start. I got the itch to like start something up again. Like I love the startup phase. I love going from 0 to like, you know, 8 figures. Like I really love that part of the process. And him and I were chatting back and forth, and he was like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know, something that fits in my range of skill set, right? And you have to be aware of what that skill set is. So as you develop your first thing, you're going to figure out what is my strong points and what do I know? What am I good at? What am I better than everybody else at? And then you take those things and you apply them to this next thing, that next thing, that next thing, or you vertically integrate off of the things that you're already doing. Like a lot of the stuff I do is vertical integration offshoots of what we do as our main thing. So, but this idea that you're going to read this meme that says average millionaire has 7 streams of income, but they don't have that until they've already made it in one thing. Because to make it in one thing, the first thing requires everything you have. So if you read that the wrong way, you know, we see a lot of these younger guys on the internet saying, I do this, I got 7 businesses, I got 10 businesses. And you ain't making it in none. You know what I mean? Right. So having a business, having an LLC, having a, you know, that's not, it doesn't matter. It's how much money you make. You know what I mean? So yeah, dude, it's very easy for me to see this where I'm at, right? At 40, I'm 44 years old now. 25 years in business since I was 19, in the same business. Not a fucking business, like I started a bunch and they failed, right? I haven't had a business fail since I was 19 years old. All of them were fucking money. So when we look at, actually that's not true. I did have one, that's funny. We'll talk about that another time. But the point is that it's very easy for me to see how this works, but it's very hard for the young person to see how it works. So, you know, go back and listen to this question a few times if you just get started. But just remember, you're not going to be able to get great at the one thing that's going to make you all the money if you're spreading your effort across multiple things, where this person's already learned the main things that they need to do. So that's like competing against someone who spends all their time playing basketball. And you think you're going to be as good as them, but you're also bowling, and you're playing baseball, and you're playing hockey, you're wrestling, you're playing football, you're practicing all this shit. I mean, I think it's pretty simple that the guy who practices all of his time in basketball is going to beat your ass. And that's the same in business. So you need to think about it like that.
I love it, man. Well, guys, any question number 2? I graduate high school in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are talking about taking a gap year, which is basically they take a year off from work or take a year off from going to college and find themselves. In other words, they live off their parents and party and don't do shit.
Good, let them.
Yeah.
That's a year you can get ahead of them.
Now, I'm definitely going to college. I want to be a lawyer. These friends do listen to the show, not as much as I do. But can you give them some real advice on why this gap year would be a bad idea, or as bad as I think it would be for them? Appreciate you, Big Dog.
Yeah. I'll give you a bunch of ideas. One, you're going to be lazy as fuck, so you're going to get out of the habits of doing the work every day, which most people never get back into. 2, by not paying attention to what's going on, business and the society and everything that's going on in terms of having a career is changing so fast that when you come back and you start paying attention again, you're going to be way behind. 3, the people who don't take a gap year are automatically a year ahead of you. Automatically. And I know you think, well, it doesn't matter if they're actually a year ahead of you. No, it actually does. Okay? So there's 3 reasons. Now, are there benefits to taking a gap year? I don't know, maybe. Like, you could go to Europe. Like, I went to Europe when I graduated high school. I went but I didn't take a whole year off.
It was a fucking year.
No, I just went for, a few weeks, and it was awesome. But I think the most dangerous thing about this gap year is that it breaks the routine of you having to be productive, which is a habit, which is very, very important, especially if you're going to go on to build a career. Now, a lot of people aren't going to college, but clearly, you're going to be a lawyer. Some states, they let you take the bar without it, but it's probably a good idea to go to college, right, if you're going to be a lawyer. But if you're not going to be something that requires a professional degree like that, you should automatically go into the workforce, because most companies aren't even looking for degrees anymore. They're not looking for creative employees. Like, honestly, when people apply here with their college degree, I almost don't want to hire them, because I know they've been fed a bunch of fucking bullshit. So I'm not saying this because you don't want to take the gap year so that you can go to college right away. I'm saying this is that that's a valuable year for you to get ahead of all your peers if you choose to go hard right away. I started my business at 19 years old, all right? I went to 1 year of college, and I was like, man, this ain't for me. And then I kept going to college when I first started my business, and I got 3 years in. I'm like, nah, fuck this. These people are stupid. I learned it for myself. But it just depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to school. If you want to be a lawyer, it's a pretty good idea to go to school. If you want to be an engineer, you probably got to go to school. But if you're just going to school to go to school, don't get yourself in that situation.
I think there's something too about putting off the reality of the world, right? Like there's something to be said. But like, I mean, I feel like, you know, people that leave in high school, you're in the real world now, right? Like your decisions, like that's when your decisions start having real consequences in the real world. You're viewed as an adult, right? And to try to put that off and delay that, it's like you're slowly ripping the Band-Aid off. It's like, no, just rip the shit off and get out there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I mean, I know it was that way for you because you didn't have a I bet you were right out on your own.
I was 17, yeah.
You know, people do have parents to take care of them, like I said in the question.
Yeah.
If you were my kid, I would tell you this. I would say, hey, it's okay to go see the world, take a trip for 2 weeks, do whatever you gotta do, but let's fucking get after it right now because your peers and the people you're competing against, they're going to be not only taking a year off, they're going to be fucking off for 4 more years in college, and then they're going to try to figure out what they do. I would say, hey, let's get to work doing something right now. And that way we've got a 4 or 5 year head start on all these other fuckers. It's a valuable time because you can't get that head start really any other time in life.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. If you were my son, that's what I would say. But you ain't. So, yeah.
I love it. All right, well, guys, Andy, our third and final question. Andy, I want to start by saying I hate the victimhood mentality just as much as the next person. It's low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. I feel like people with real struggles, with real hardships, don't really speak on this, publicly or not. I know that life happens to everyone. Things happen, deaths, sicknesses, etc. My question is, when you have found yourself in those dark times in your life, what have you found to be the best way to get through them? Like a lot of people suffer in silence and don't know how to get out of the suffer without feeling like they're a part of the victim mentality bullshit. How do we handle this?
Look, man, you're going to have bad times. You're going to have hard times. Everybody has them, okay? It's called life. Here's the thing. When hard times come, when bad shit happens, most people lay down and they stop trying. They go and they curl up in a little ball in the shower and they fucking cry and they boo about their life. And a lot of times, that's justified, all right? Your child could die. You could lose a sibling. Your parents could, who knows? Lots of shit. Okay?
Right.
It's okay.
I did 250 last time for 20. I'm gonna bump up weight just 5 pounds. Just to be pushing my boundary on what it was last week. Might not get the reps. I should be able to get the reps, but I'm just saying, even if I didn't get the reps, but I went up weight, then it's still introducing something new into the mix, stimulus-wise, that, you know, can help grow still.
Is that they control the things they can control. Okay, what can you control? You can control the most important things that affect your daily life every single day. You can't control your environment. You can't control what's going to happen. You can't control what God's going to do. You can't control these tragedies. These are going to happen. You can't control a bad economy. You can't control a fire burning down your house. You can't control these things. But what you can control is that you can control what you eat. You can control how you move your body. You can control what you put in your mind. You can control how you treat people. You control your attitude. You control all of these things. And those things are the most important things to your daily state of mind, your daily state of being. Okay? If you're eating well, you're drinking water, you're putting good things in your mind, and you're continuing to make progress, you're going to feel much better than the person who's just wallowing in their hardship. All right? And not only that, and this is the most important thing, most people get paralyzed during the progress of their life. When things happen, the ability to control the controllables and move through and continue to progress when everybody else quits. You've got a big gap there. You create a big advantage for yourself because most people can't.
Extremely sloppy on those last couple.
I know it's hard, but sometimes the best way to get through things is to actually just keep pushing through, and that way, when you do start feeling better, you don't look back and you say, "Fuck, I let all my progress die. I let my business die. I let my career die. I got fat. I got this." And you don't have this huge gap where you have where you were because you were disciplined enough and smart enough to control those things through the hardship. Okay, so now, instead of being in this bad mental spot, you kind of worked your way out of it. You're like, fuck, all right, I'm starting to feel better. And you look back and go, well, fuck, I didn't even get off track because I was controlling the controllables. So I'm in a really good spot, okay? And so not only is it good for you mentally, but it's also good for you in the terms of how much progress you're making against your peers. And a lot of people will say, there's fucking no such thing as a competition. I'm just competing with myself. Bullshit, okay? There's very little spots at the top of high earner potential. And that's what we talk about here. We talk about earning potential, making money, kicking ass in business and life. There are very few spots at the top. It is a limited fucking placing. Okay, that's why there are so few of them. And then below that, the level of pretty good, there's more of those. And then there's average, where by definition, there's the most of those. That's why it's called average. All right? So,
did 140
people end up in average because
for 16 on the single arm row. This last time we'll bump up weight. Try to land back in that 8 to 12 rep range.
And they don't make that progress. And all the while, the people who do all of those things continue to move forward, which creates.
I like to stay in that 8 to 12 rep range, and if I start to go out of that, then I know that I've gotten stronger. So I'll bump up weight to send me down into that 8 to 12 rep range again. And once I work my way up from 8 to 12, bump up weight again and just keep that cycle going. You don't have to switch exercises all the time to keep something new. I'll do it just to give me something like fresh coming into the gym to keep me enthusiastic. I'll throw that in the mix. But if you want to get technical to grow, you don't have to be doing all of these different exercises all the time for the same muscle group. If you're adding weight and you're going past and setting new PRs, then that's going to be enough stimulus to grow. I never bought into the fact that you have to stand on a, medicine ball and do a one-arm jump squat, and all of these crazy exercises. And there's one specific one that's going to grow the muscle the best. No, it's lift that heavy fucking weight as many times as you can, and that's what's going to do it. So everybody's looking for an easier, softer way, but the easier, softer way is just doing the heavy weight, and pushing your maxes. All right, we'll get right into this here. Switch some weight, and then we'll pound this shit out here.
I drank. I didn't do shit. I felt sorry for myself. I didn't go out in public. I was embarrassed. I wallowed, and it made me into a suicidal fucking literal nightmare of a human being. This time, and by the way, it's a different thing. Okay, there's different levels of severity here. And as bad as my shoulder was, it's still a bad thing, but it wasn't as bad as getting stabbed in the fucking face, right?
That's interesting. I look at it the same.
Well, it's less dramatic. I'll say that. So, but the amount of mental impact that it had was very similar. All right, because I was at first of all, I was in the best shape of my life. I had all the momentum, and it completely derailed all of that. But what I did, instead of wallowing, I did what the fuck I could. I'd come in here, I'd train with one arm. I would do everything I could. I'd eat good. I'd train with one arm. I didn't put on a bunch of weight. I didn't get fat again. I kept my weight off. I kept my fitness close to in check. And I think that made it so that I was able to continue moving forward in all areas in my life. So I didn't miss 2 years of my life by just sitting around crying and feel sorry for myself. And by the way, it was one of the best, like just by getting stabbed, I'd say it was the best thing I've ever done. Having my shoulder reconstructed when I'm at the peak of my physicality and mental being, and then having to go back and then working through that was a huge mental test that I fucking passed. So now I look back and I'm like, yeah, that sucked, but fuck that. That didn't beat me, it didn't break me. And now I have that much more confidence because of that. So, if you keep moving, things are going to work out much better than if you don't. And so, it's just reality, dude. It's not my opinion, it's just reality.
Well, I think a lot of people too, when that storm comes, they wallow in it, and before you know it, it's life. Here comes another storm. And yeah, the shit, so I think there's also like a universal aspect to this too, right? Because the more you wallow in it, and you're not doing anything to fix or adjust or change, the universe somehow gives you a little more of that, man. Like that's what you're asking. It's almost like that's what you're asking.
Well, actually putting all of your focus on all these things that are bad in your life. And when you put your focus on all these things that are bad in your life, do you know what the universe gives you? More bad shit. Okay? And this is why, you know, while I think therapy may be beneficial for some people, I think it's totally overblown. I think it's highly predatory for a lot of these therapists, because these therapists have no incentive to actually get you better, because you're paying them to continue to be fucked up. All right? So they want you to talk about your shit. They want you to focus on your shit, because they know that if you focus on your shit and talk about your shit, you can't get through your shit. All right? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk to someone. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is way overblown in terms of how appropriate it is. And if you actually want to get better, you need to start focusing on what you're trying to create and who you're trying to become again, just like you did before, and not focusing on how bad shit is and how hard you have it. All right? That is a absolutely for sure recipe to stay in that exact same place if you always focus on what your problems are and you always focus on what's wrong. If you're in a down spot and you're in a spot where you're you're not want to be, you have to just make the plan.
All right, I'm gonna throw calves in here in the mix.
Right?
I actually didn't think about it. I'm gonna be doing arms tonight, so I'm not gonna do forearm superset.
I still want to be that motherfucker.
So I technically could have done those before I did the back workout. It is what it is, but I'm gonna go over here and start doing calves. And one thing I've started to implement with my calf workout is, instead of standing straight up and down with my feet underneath me, parallel, and going up and down, I try to get back, like kind of lean forward towards the bar, and it gives me a more of a stretch at the bottom of that movement. And I feel like, whereas whenever I'm standing straight up and down, kind of hits the back of the calf. Like whenever I'm back like this, y'all can actually feel it working directly on that inner part, and just that big, I don't even know what you'd call it, but that big muscle right there. But yeah, just leaning back just a little bit, maybe a foot, half a foot or something, I don't know, but it's pretty good to implement. You play around with some of these movements and the range of motion, standing close, stand with your feet apart, and find what's like, okay, that's where I get the maximum burn. You can play around with all these movements that I'm doing and just find what gives you the best stretch, the best contraction, and you find those, then you can do away with everything else and just hit home on those things that actually move the bar forward. And you can make progress coming in here every single time.
They did a great job.
All right.
Yeah, I feel good about mine too. Yeah, I mean, I got one of those mushrooms too. Yeah. What'd you say? All right. That's why you like jiu-jitsu so much. He's rubbing on everybody. All right, let's keep it going. Stay focused. This is really serious. Stop it. This is serious. This is serious. This is a fucking serious show. All right, back to make things better. Yeah. Question number 4, guys. Andy, how do you tame your nervous system in moments of high stress or perceived conflict? I'm 24 years old. I've been in business. I've been a business owner for 4 years. Tough conversations and perceived conflict sends my body into fight or flight. Even though I logically know there's no real imminent danger. I've been working on addressing these situations head on and talking to myself through them. However, I still feel my heart rate increase, palms get sweaty, and feeling like I can't get my words out or address the situation in the moment like I need to, often freeze. Do you have any tricks for calming your nervous system or the fight or flight response so you can address conversations and situations effectively?
Absolutely. First of all, if you're a young entrepreneur, this is not abnormal to feel nervous when you have to have conversations that there may be some contention in them, okay? That's a normal thing. And the way to ultimately get through that is by having them over and over and over again to the point where it's just natural to have them. And I can promise you, if you will just commit to working through this process, you will get to a point where you can have these conversations and your heartbeat will not even change at all. It will just be a conversation. And so the first thing you have to do to get to that point is you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do the reps. And that goes for anything, any skill set you're trying to build. This is a skill set, having conversations that are direct. That's a skill set. So you have to be willing to have them if you ever want to get better. Secondly, you have to frame the conversation the proper way. If you go into it saying, this is a conflict conversation, this is a hard conversation, it's going to be conflicting and it's going to be hard because you already decided that. So instead, just say, I got to have a conversation, all right? Don't put the burden on yourself that this is going to be hard and you start imagining all these unlikely scenarios about what they could say, and usually you don't even say that shit. Usually you sit down and you say, hey, this is what I need, and they say, okay, cool. Yeah, and so understand that people aren't going to automatically like flip the fuck out because you have to tell them something. A lot of young entrepreneurs, and I don't mean young in age, I just mean young in the game, they really struggle with this because they've never been in a position where they have to like tell someone what they need or direct someone, right? So they're very uncomfortable with it, and they feel like, I don't want to tell somebody what this means, or I don't want to have this conversation, I don't want to be direct because I don't want them to think that I'm better than them. No, dude, it's not that you're better than them. This is point number 3. You have to realize that that's your role. Your role on the team is to direct the boat on the right course. And you can't get the boat on the right course unless you're talking to people who are rowing the boat, right? And you might be rowing the boat too. So you might have to talk while you're rowing. And you might have to say to the guys, hey, you guys over there on the right, you're rowing a little too slow. We got to pick it up so we can go straight and we don't go in a circle. You see what I'm saying? That's not a hard conversation because they want to go straight too. So you have to remember, they have an interest in getting this problem corrected as well. And most people that are reasonable want to correct those things. So all of that aside, you have to remember, dude, you have chosen a path that you have not gone down before, and there's going to be lots of things that are difficult for you. And one of them for most people is to have a direct conversation. But if you can't learn to have a direct conversation, you are not valuable. That is it. And that goes for, you're not effective and you're not valuable. And that doesn't just go for the person who's directing the boat in what direction. That goes for the motherfucker who's also rowing, AKA an employee, right? If an employee, like if you're back on the back of the boat and you're back there and no one can really see you rowing, your fucking oar is fucked up and you don't tell anybody and you're rowing as hard as you can and you still can't row with the team because your oar's up and you don't want to go say something because you're afraid of what you're going to say. You're invaluable and ineffective to the team. And a lot of people who are like entrepreneurs, they don't understand this concept. They don't understand that they have to give feedback. They have to be willing to say, hey, here's where I'm having an issue. Because that's valuable shit to the leadership. And leadership will value someone 100 times more that will come to them and say, hey, here's a problem I see, without abusing that conversation. Okay? Because there's two kinds of people here. There's people who come and give you the exact feedback you need that is valuable, who is a team player, and they say, hey, this is what I noticed. I think it needs to get fixed here. What can we do to fix this? And then there's the other kind of person who will disguise their feedback as a complaint or as a way to get something more for them. All right? And that always usually sounds like bitching. Okay? So there's a big difference between bitching and giving constructive feedback. If you just go to your leadership and bitch all the time because you hear Andy say it's important to give feedback or you're invaluable, you're going to get fired because people don't like that. They don't like getting bitched at. They don't like hearing gossip. There's important shit and then there's non-important shit. And your job of giving feedback is to keep all the non-important shit off the plate of your leader and make their job easier, and then bring the important shit to them so they can fix it and the team can move forward. So this ability to directly communicate is a massive asset, not just for the leadership, but also the people who are on the team that aren't necessarily the main leader. You can be a leader peer-to-peer too. That's a whole other thing. Like, if you're on a team and you're in the boat, and I'm just giving you some free game on how to be more valuable. And you're back there and you hear the other guy, and he's like, fuck this is stupid, this is blah, blah, blah. That's where you go to the guy and be like, hey, that motherfucker ain't on the team, bro. We need someone else running, right? And what most people will do is they'll do this fucking pussy shit. Well, some people are upset because of who people. Well, I don't want to name names. Well then, bro, you're not valuable because I can't fix the problem if you won't name the fucking names.
Guess who?
Dude, it's the most annoying shit in the world. And the reason it happens is because there isn't trust between the leadership and the team. Okay? The leadership has to earn trust of the team to know that they have the team's best interest in mind, and then the team will be more likely to communicate directly to you. And that's what you want.
All right, guys. That was day 19 of 75 hard. It's the back workout, AM workout. I know I didn't talk a whole lot into the camera. I feel like I broke down a lot of the way I work out, my philosophy, and a lot of the previous videos. There'll be more to come. I'm gonna get into diet and nutrition a little bit more as the days progress, and bring to you guys some other stuff too that I found helpful in my training. Appreciate you following along. Please share, like, and subscribe if you like the way that I go through the workouts and all that stuff. And yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm out.